It's great to see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces at our Lunchtime concert series. This is the final spring concert. We've got 4 concerts coming up in the fall, 2 of which we know about. October 7th, we're going to have the Voyager Reed Quintet, so that'll be chamber music. And we'll have on November 18th, we'll have the Franklin Township Madrigal Singers who have performed here basically yearly, I suppose, I'm told. I'm new, so I haven't been here for that. But today, most importantly, for our purposes, we are thrilled to welcome Eric Hauhghton, pianist, composer, and teacher. Eric has given over 50 recitals throughout the eastern U.S., including solo concerts at Wild Recital Hall at Carnegie Hall in New York and Sheldon Hall in St. Louis. As a composer, following the debut of his monumental Pioneer Songs, in 1993, Eric was elected to ASCAP and subsequently received a Meet the Composer Award from that organization. His 2 other large-scale historical oratorios, Victory Songs honoring the veterans of World War II, and Passion Songs detailing the last days of Jesus Christ, have been performed to high acclaim. All of his music is available at artofsoundmusic.com. And if you want any details from what I just said, it's all on the flyer. I'm just reading off the flyer. As a pianist myself, I'm excited for today's program. Maestro Hauhghton will be performing first Scenes from Childhood by Robert Schumann, famous series of pieces, but each short piece will be interspersed with a composition by Eric that are not necessarily a commentary per se, but just an expansion, if you will, of that theme of Scenes from Childhood. So you were telling me earlier, he's a father. Scenes from the childhood of his kids, for example, are some of the inspirations for these pieces. So all the, in the standard print, you've got the Schumann pieces, and then in the italics, each one is followed by a piece by Eric. And so we'll conclude after that with 3 preludes by Sergei Rachmaninoff, famous pieces that you might recognize. Let me just add also, importantly, that our recital series is funded by the Middlesex County Office of Arts and History, and we're of course grateful to them for continually supporting the series. And for those of you who are new, we'll have a Q&A after the performance. And if you're joining online, hello. Please use the chat feature to ask questions. After that, we'll have lunch downstairs. Got sandwiches, cookies, and if you parked in the Church Street deck, we can validate your parking. So be sure you take advantage of that. And thank you for joining us once again. And let's please welcome Eric Hauhghton.
got my interest, because I started late, I was 13 when I began playing, is playing the rags of Scott Joplin. So I'm going to play one of the greatest of the king of ragtime, Elite Syncopations.
Thanks again, Professor Hauhghton. So we have time for questions and answers. Anybody have any questions about the program? Yes.
When did you start playing for real? That is, you enjoyed it so much, and when did you start composing?
Okay, so
Sorry, just for the folks at home who wouldn't have heard that. The question was, when did you start? When did your piano kick in? And when did you enjoy it and really make it your thing? And when did you start composing?
So, like I said, I had begun late, so very late. I was too busy playing baseball with my brothers and things like that. So finally, my mother, she said, every time you walk by the piano, you play something and it sounds good. You've got to take lessons. So finally, I did it. And again, I started with kind of playing the entertainer, the simple arrangements of rags. And so I knew instantly, and all the other things I was doing, it was just like a duck to water, it seemed, so it just took off. So, you know, it was very quick, and within a year or two, I had gone through 3 teachers, and I was having to drive to Tom's River to take lessons every week, and she was having me enter competitions. It was almost instantaneous. By the time I was 15, I knew I wanted to play the piano, so, and then I went to Westminster to study there with the great Harold Zabrak, and that was just unbelievable. So, but it was working with him in college and then afterward that I started to think, wow, you know, I hear these melodies and things going through my head, and so, and I'd write them down, you know, I could do this as well as anybody maybe, so I just started scribbling notes and playing them, and people seemed to like them, and so it was really kind of in the early 90s, I started composing, and then I met this man, he was a student of mine, Robert Marquis, and I played a piece for him, and he loved it, and he started playing it, you know, and he said, you know, that sounds like an early American folk tune. Why don't we write a show about pioneers? And so we wrote this monumental thing. It took us 2 years, and we got it performed, and it's become orchestrated since then and everything. But that was really the big thing for composing for me, is jumping right into this big, huge work and getting it performed and people liking it, you know. I wasn't just doing it for fun. It was really, it was something. It was for fun, but it was also because people really seemed to like it. So that's when it began.
Thanks. Any other questions? Any from online, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes.
If you had to pick, which might be a really hard pick, of some favorite pieces that you really enjoy through all the years that you've been playing, what would they be?
So, you know, it's often asked, like, what's your favorite composer? So we kind of go along the same thing, like Rachmaninoff, certainly. There's a lot of pieces in there, and I played the second concerto with orchestra, and that was, you know, that's up there. But Chopin, you know, a lot of Chopin pieces are just, I mean, there's a lot more I want to learn too, so there's still time, so I'm going to, you know, do more of that, and, you know, so if I had to pick 2 composers, Rachmaninoff and Chopin, probably, if I had to.
Thanks. Any other questions? This gentleman hasn't asked one yet, so.
Coming from a smaller market in New Jersey, when did you make the transition and actually acquire the confidence to bring your music to a worldwide and nationwide scale?
Great question.
So again, the encouragement I had for performances of my pieces, you're talking about my pieces? Yeah, and you know, doing those early works and just to hear the reception and to hear people say, you know, how much they enjoyed it, you know, that gives you confidence. When we're reinforced like that, it's not just me saying that, you know, it's not just, but other people. So that certainly was a huge thing for me to think, wow, this is something I really can do. So I've been doing, you know, and it's such a struggle, you know, being a composer, and then, you know, there's more failures than anything else. It's like whether it's publishers or, you know, trying to get performed. I mentioned Robert Marquis, the inspiration, the man behind Pioneer Songs. Not even a year after we performed it and had everything done with that, he was a public relations man, but he had a heart attack and died at the age of 48. And just horrible, tragic, 4 kids, just terrible. But, you know, obviously it's set, you know, in terms of plans that we had, that he was, you know, so it's always, it's persevering despite many failures. That's the thing. It's just like keep going. One of the songs from Pioneer Songs is when they're stuck in the desert, and the song is called "Keep Going," and it's just a metaphor for life. You know, keep going. The troubles take their toll. Keep going. Keep closing on your goal. You know, it's what it's all about. Really, we just got to keep going. So.
Thanks.
Emmanuel Axe is playing tomorrow night in
Here?
Brunswick. Yes, at the State Theater.
Oh, not here.
Oh, not here. And I just wondered where you rank him in terms of great pianist.
question was Emmanuel Axe is performing in New Jersey, New Brunswick rather, tomorrow, famous pianist. And what is Mr. Holmes' thoughts on Mr. Axe?
We saw him, gotta be 40 years almost, in McCarter Theater in Princeton. And I'll never forget it because he played the four ballades by Chopin, which are four very, very big pieces. And he didn't miss a note, as I can tell. I mean, the man is one of the giants of all time, especially currently, for sure. And a great guy, too. I've been listening to some of his, on WQXR, he has like a happy hour or something. He has guests come in. So I think it's on Fridays, I'm not sure, but keep an ear out for that, too, because he's a really nice guy, it seems, too. So I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great concert we can look forward to. Just to wrap up, I have a question myself, pianist myself, grew up on Scott Joplin as well. It was great to hear, not just it would have been great to hear the Entertainer and the Maple Leaf Rag, but we got to hear one that's a little, slightly off the beaten path, I suppose, compared to those. But actually my question is, can you pick out one or two of the other more scenes from childhood and just say a little bit about the inspiration, maybe the specifics?
From the more scenes from childhood. Yeah, they came from a different, there were 11 or 12, there weren't 13, there might have been 11 originally when I wrote them about 30 years ago. And probably the most recent one is Fading Colors, which was very hard. It was a rough time in my life, and I remember writing that. And that comes through, I think, from the music of that. That practice piece, that fun little thing, which is 9 different compositions, including Pink Panther. I'm sure you picked up on that. That's a fun little thing too. And that Move It piece, it was originally called, I think, Saturday Night Strut. And I had a student say, "No, that sounds like Move It." So, but anyway, there's stories behind every one of them. They're great little pieces which I've recently orchestrated, so it's exciting to know that's available too, if there's any conductors out there.
Okay, great. Thanks so much once more for Eric Hauhghton. Please join us for